Hey there, everyone. Today we're going to dive into the world of technology.
That's right.
Let's explore the latest news on artificial intelligence and global connectivity. But we're just going to stick to the headlines. Let's go deeper.
Interesting.
We want to understand how these innovations can impact you, in everyday life. And to help on this tech journey, I have with me expert Samantha.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here again to uncover the tech world with you.
And we already start with a piece of news that left me speechless. Samantha.
Oh,
OpenAI, the creator of Chat-GPT, they're developing their own browser. It really is, with artificial intelligence.
wow.
They're ready to challenge the giant Google Chrome. Wow, he's anxious. And that raises the question, right? Why? I wonder why they're not satisfied with dominating the world of chatbots.
That's right. It seems that OpenAI's ambition goes beyond just competing with Chrome.
What's their deal?
They want to, revolutionize the way we interact with the internet.
Interesting.
Exactly. Integrating the chatbot into the browser could mean the end of traditional search.
Ah, how we know it.
Just imagine having direct and personalized answers without having to scroll through page after page of results.
Without having to keep clicking.
That's right, exactly. No ads.
No ads. That would be amazing.
It would be dream.
It's like having an internet guru guiding you, answering all your questions, the blink of an eye.
Exactly.
So, what about Google?
What's up with Google?
Are they just going to sit back and watch OpenAI try to steal Chrome's crown?
That's a good one. Hardly. This battle for AI supremacy is just getting started. And Google has powerful weapons like Gemini. It's their language model, which is constantly evolving.
I got it.
The most interesting thing is that this technological battle, driving innovation at an insane speed. An example of this is Search-Gpt.
The tippity.
It's OpenAI's search tool, which is already challenging traditional search models.
And how does it do that?
Come on, ask away. It stands out for providing direct answers with citations from sources, aiming for greater accuracy, and fighting misinformation.
Really?
Yes, it's a different approach from Google's model,
Oh, really? What's the difference?
which prioritizes ads and displays multiple links.
I see.
Which model do you think meets your needs better?
Well, it's a question everyone needs to ask themselves, right? True. And speaking of connecting the world in innovative ways, SpaceX.
About Elon Musk.
That's right. They formed a partnership, T-Mobile,
Really? For what?
to collect cell signals directly from satellites, Wow, that's cool. Especially in emergency situations.
Look at that. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right?
Yeah, but it's already a reality. Just imagine being able to communicate, even in remote areas or during natural disasters, without relying on cell towers.
Wow. That would be amazing.
This could be a game changer in emergency situations,
True.
where communication is crucial.
For sure.
But just imagine that this technology still has its limitations, right?
Oh, sure. We're still in the early stages right now. The service is limited to SMS messages and requires a T-Mobile number. The authorization to use the technology is also limited. It was used during the hurricanes Ellen and Milton. The big question is, will we ever be able to say goodbye to traditional carriers and have global communication via satellite?
Look, it's an intriguing possibility. But while SpaceX and T-Mobile are working to connect the world via satellite, OpenAI continues to innovate in other areas. They are developing Operator.
What? That
It's an AI that promises much more than just chatbots. Wow.
operator is being designed to perform complex tasks, autonomously.
How cool.
Almost like human. Wow! Just imagine delegating tasks to operator like scheduling your meetings, booking your trips, writing your reports, even managing your investments. How amazing! Sounds like a dream, right? Or maybe a nightmare.
It depends on the point of view.
For some, but seriously, do you think we're ready to delegate so many responsibilities to an AI?
Good question. That's the big question, right? The autonomy of AI raises very complex ethical and social questions. Who will be responsible if the operator makes a mistake?
That's true.
How can we ensure the privacy of our data?
And what will be the impact on the job market?
Yeah, those are important questions. Need to be discussed before we hand over control of our lives to an AI. But, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about Llama 3.3. The Llama 3.3, the open source language model, the model is challenging GPT-4. How interesting and so special. It's just another chat man trying to steal the spotlight.
Great question. Llama 3.3 is beyond just being another language model. It uses fewer computational resources and is cheaper than its competitors, making it accessible to a wider audience. Meta is betting on the democratization of AI, allowing startups and small businesses to benefit from this technology as well.
How does it compare to GPT-4? In terms of performance, can it compete with the more powerful models on the market? Llama 3.3, despite being smaller, performs very well in benchmarks, surprisingly surpassing GPT-4 in some areas, like multilingual reasoning and math tasks. Of course, GPT-4 is still the most powerful model overall, but Llama 3.3 proves that it's possible to achieve high performance with fewer resources.
Look, it's really exciting to see this fierce competition, driving innovation, and making AI more and more accessible. But before we dive headfirst into the depths of technology, let's take a moment to process all this information.
Good idea.
We'll be back shortly for part 2 of our journey.
Agreed. See you soon.
We missed part 2 of our technological dive.
We've barely scratched the surface of AI, and I already feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie.
That's true. It's a lot to take in.
And speaking of science fiction, let's go back to that bombshell, news about OpenAI creating its own browser.
That's true.
With AI, right? The question that everyone is asking is how this is going to work in practice.
Just imagine you open the browser, and instead of that traditional search bar, you have a chat interface like you're talking directly to the Chat-GPT. Got it? You know, you can ask questions, request summaries of articles, even ask it to write an email for you. Wow. And the coolest part is that it will use all the intelligence of Chat-GPT to understand the context of your browsing and deliver truly relevant results.
Wow. But what about the links, Samantha? Are links going to disappear?
Good question. It's possible that links will become less important over time, but I doubt they'll completely disappear. After all, we still need to have access to the original sources of information. What should change is the way we interact with links. Imagine, for example, a browser showing you a condensed summary of the content, even before you click on it.
That would be amazing.
That'd be practical, right?
And save a ton of time. But will this OpenAI browser be accessible to everyone?
Look, OpenAI has been talking a lot about democratizing access to AI, right? So it's very likely that they'll try to make the browser as accessible as possible. In fact, there are already rumors. They are testing prototypes with companies like Cast, Regan, Eventbrite, and even Priceline.
Wow. And what about Google, huh? I wonder what they are up to not lose ground in this market.
I'm sure Google isn't just sitting around, right? They have Chrome, which is the most used browser in the world. They are heavily investing in EA, Gemini, for example. It's Google's language model, which is evolving rapidly and should be integrated into Chrome soon.
So we can expect an epic battle between the OpenAI browser and the enhanced Chrome, with Google's IE.
For sure. And this competition is only likely to benefit us, users.
That's true.
With increasingly smart and efficient browsers.
That's what we want. As this battle unfolds, we have SpaceX and T-Mobile trying to connect the world via satellite. We've already talked about the limitations, but I wanted to know what the real potential of this technology is. Could it solve the problem of signal issues in remote areas?
Look, the potential is huge. Imagine isolated communities having access to the internet and communication services for the first time. Rescue teams being able to communicate in no disaster areas. Researchers collecting real-time data from anywhere on the planet. Incredible, right? Yeah. But of course, there are still challenges to overcome, like limited bandwidth and the high cost of the technology.
That's true. But thinking long-term, do you believe that satellite communication could become the main form of global connection?
Look, it's hard to predict the future for sure, right? But I think satellite communication is set to become increasingly important. SpaceX is launching thousands of satellites
to form a global constellation. And other companies are also entering this market. It's a technology that has the potential to connect everyone, anywhere, anytime.
And speaking of connecting everyone, OpenAI is also working on an ambitious project, Operator, which promises to go far beyond just a chatbot. Have you heard about it?
The Operator has been making waves. OpenAI describes it as an AI capable of performing complex tasks autonomously. Yes, almost like a human. Yeah. Imagine the Operator could handle tasks like scheduling your meetings, planning your trips, writing your reports, even managing your wardrobe.
It sounds like a dream. Or maybe a nightmare.
Yeah, it depends on the point of view.
But seriously, do you think we're ready to delegate so many responsibilities to an AI? That's the big question, right? The autonomy of AI raises complex ethical and social questions. Who will be responsible if the operator makes a mistake? How can we ensure the privacy of our data? And what will be the impact on the job market?
These are important questions, need to be discussed. Before we hand over control of our lives to an AI, let's change the subject a bit. Let's talk about Llama 3.3.
The open source language models such as...
That's about the Meta challenge to GPT-4. What makes it so special?
Llama 3.3 is Meta's bet on the democratization of AI by making the model's code available openly. They are allowing anyone to use it, modify, and personalize the technology. This could spark a wave of innovation, with startups and researchers creating new applications and solutions that we can't even imagine.
Wow. But being open source, isn't there a risk of this technology falling into the wrong hands?
That's a real risk with any powerful technology. It's important for the open source community to work together to ensure that Llama 3.3 is used ethically and responsibly.
And in terms of performance, how does it compare to GPT-4?
Llama 3.3 is smaller and lighter than GPT-4.
But it performs very well in benchmarks, even surpassing the OpenAI model in some areas. And the cost benefit is unbeatable, since it uses fewer computational resources and is cheaper to use.
It's impressive how Meta is managing to compete on equal footing with OpenAI.
That's true.
And this competition only benefits us, with AI becoming more and more accessible and powerful. Exactly. And Meta isn't just focused on language models, right? No, they're also heavily investing the integration of AI with virtual reality. That's true. Virtual worlds, immersive, interactive, controlled by AI, where you can learn.
Working, having fun, interacting with other people in completely new ways, it's mind-blowing. But before we get completely lost in this sea of possibilities, let's take a strategic pause and come back strong in part 3.
Back to the last part of our tech dive once again.
So, are you ready for more reflections?
Yes, the future of AI and global connectivity.
A lot to think about, right?
With every new development, more questions arise.
That's true. And speaking of questions, we're now experiencing the mind with all this evolution of AI in browsers. What is the future of the traditional Google search results page?
That's interesting. The results page, as we know it, change a lot. With AI answering our questions directly, need to click on links may decrease.
That makes sense.
Imagine getting the answer you're looking for in a concise and precise way. So you want to browse through multiple sites.
That's great.
It would be much more efficient.
But what if we become even more dependent on just a few companies? After all, whoever controls AI controls the answers.
That's a valid concern. The centralization of power in the hands of a few companies is a risk. The question is how to ensure that AI is used ethically and that the information is diverse and reliable.
True.
It's an important debate. No, that needs to happen as AI becomes more present.
And speaking of AI being present in our lives, we explored a lot about Operator, the AI from OpenAI that promises to be a super powerful personal assistant. But I still have one question. What's the line between delegating tasks and handing over control of our lives to an AI?
That's $1 million question. The autonomy of AI is fascinating and scary at the same time. It's tempting to imagine an AI that organizes our schedule, does shopping, books trips. But do we really want to give up total control over our decisions?
And if this AI messes up, if it makes a mistake, who takes responsibility?
Exactly. The issue of responsibility is crucial. Who will be held responsible if an IO make a decision that causes financial harm, for example? Or, I don't know, in a more extreme scenario, putting someone's safety at risk? It's a complex debate that involves ethical, legal, and social issues.
Yeah, we need to be very careful when delegating power to AI. And speaking of accessibility, we explored 3.1.3, the open source language model from Meta. I was impressed by the idea that anyone can use and modify the technology. But doesn't that increase the risk of misuse? Like to create super realistic fake news?
Undoubtedly. The accessibility of open source AI is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it democratizes technology and fosters innovation. On the other hand, it increases the risk of malicious use. The open source community needs to pay attention to this issue and work to develop control mechanisms to mitigate the risks.
It's quite a challenge. But thinking about the positive side, we saw how Meta is using AI to boost virtual reality, creating immersive and interactive virtual worlds. What makes me curious is, how are we going to differentiate the real from the virtual in this increasingly immersive future?
Wow, that's a question philosophers been debating for centuries. And with AI and virtual reality, right? The line between the real and the virtual is likely to become even thinner.
It's true.
We're going to need to develop new skills to discern what's real and what's virtual, so we don't get lost in this world of illusions.
It seems that the future holds incredible challenges and opportunities. What's clear is that AI and global connectivity are transforming the world in an irreversible way, and we need to be prepared for this new reality.
Exactly. The key to navigating this uncertain future is information. The debate and the quest for ethical and responsible technological development. That's right. So guys, what did you think of this journey to the world of technology? I hope we've sparked your curiosity, inspired you to question, to research, and to prepare for the challenges and wonders that the future holds for us. We'll meet again in the next dive, exploring new topics and deepening our knowledge. See you then.